A building is only as solid as the nuts and bolts that hold each piece in place. That's why it's crucial that workers have the right tool with the right power to ensure things stay locked in place. Here to tell us all about the product that does just that is Brian Pecchia, Marketing Manager for Ingersoll Rand. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
All right, Brian, you have to tell us. Now, this new product, if I have the name right, is the Ingersoll Rand QX Multiplier, right?
Correct.
All right, so now I've been lifting this thing up, and it is surely heavy, so if I want to get some muscle today, this is the product. So for anyone out there, you want to get some muscle, a little torque, this is it.
Sure.
So tell us, what does it do?
Sure. So this is our QX Series Cordless Torque Multiplier. It is a transducerized cordless tool used for fastening or bolting operations. The tool itself is typically used anywhere from construction sites to heavy machinery, bridge work, steel erection. Anytime you have a bolt that has a certain requirement for torque or for angle rotation, this tool can be used. It comes in different sizes. This is actually one of our smaller ones. It goes up to about 1,500 foot-pounds, down to about 30 foot-pounds. So the range is pretty large. The good thing about that is you can hit a lot of different applications. So that is what this tool is.
And if you're saying this is your smaller one, seriously,
yeah.
I'm just saying smaller one. I don't want to know what the heavier one is because it is definitely big. So you take this out. Typically, when you've described what you're doing, it's unique for what type of applications on the job site you just described. So you kind of say, we're taking that out and we're going to use it. What job sites specifically? Sure.
So if you're doing any type of bolting on a pipe flange, if you're constructing pipe flanges or any type of flange connections, each one of those bolts might have a torque requirement. And when they use right now, typically is either running down the tool, say an impact, and then a manual click wrench, or they might use a pneumatic multiplier. Either way, you need to achieve a certain torque spec. This tool, you can program to what that spec is and then run it down on that bolt and achieve that.
Now, what you're saying, there's a lot more government regulations that require some of that we were talking about. So that gives you that. Now you're getting a lot more data, and that's what you were describing earlier. You and I were looking at this, and maybe our viewers can see a little bit. Walk us through some of these kind of numbers here that you have, and maybe they can see that when you kind of show some of that.
Yeah, so this is the back end of our tool. Here you can actually program different settings. You can then, say if you have 400 foot-pounds, the next joint is 800 foot-pounds. You can actually go to the back of the tool and then program it to 800 foot-pounds. Or newton meters, you can change it to newton meters if you have a different metric. On top of that, the LCD actually gives you feedback. So if the tool runs the bolt down, it doesn't achieve its desired torque range, it will actually turn red and let you know something went wrong with that joint. Maybe the bolt was stripped, maybe there was something in the thread.
That's not so good.
That's not good. So it's actually telling you something is wrong. And on the flip side, if you were to run the bolt down and it was stripped and it didn't rotate enough rotation, also turned red and said, hey, you hit the torque, but you didn't finish the operation. So it can actually tell you if with the health of the joint, which I think in terms of error proofing is a feature in here that would help make the operator feel more comfortable when they're running the tool down. So it'll turn red, it'll turn green if you actually hit the torque range, it will turn green and let you know you can go on to the next joint. On top of that, you can change speed, you can change a few other features on here, which you might not need to, but you have that option. If you needed more options than the tool, the back end of the tool can give you, can actually plug it into our computer, and we have a software you can actually go into the tool and have a lot more programming options.
So you've just brought this out now, and the data that we're talking about is on the job site, we're getting a lot more information you just described, and that's key. And we've talked about how much we need this information at the job site, and we're talking about saving money ultimately. Is that what we're getting to?
It's saving money and convenience. Right now, a lot of times operators are writing down manually what that torque they achieved or what bolt they hit. It becomes very cumbersome. So now when you have the tool, it can actually store that data on this tool. It's streamlining your process. As you mentioned, government regulations or companies' quality requirements, they're getting a lot more stringent and very much more controlled on what their specifications are, and this tool allows you to be able to achieve those requirements.
So looking at this versus other products, how does this product compare to what's out there right now?
Sure. So right now you'll see a lot of different types of products that are used. The benefit of this tool, being it's cordless, you don't need an air compressor. You don't need a hydraulic power pack. You can go into different, you're not going to have the cumbersome of the hoses, so you can go into different hard to reach spots. On top of that, you have the different torque ranges, so you don't need to bring as many tools with you anymore. Say if you had a pneumatic multiplier that had a certain range, and this tool has a larger range, you can just bring one tool versus having to bring two tools. Even more beneficial is that we actually use the same battery platform as our other cordless tools as well. So now you only need to bring one or two batteries versus a lot of different type of batteries. So if you have a cordless Ingersoll Rand Impact, it uses the same battery as the torque multiplier does.
Now you know what everyone's thinking right now. What does this baby cost? Because you know that's what everyone's mind is. They're looking at this.
So obviously the price varies based on the size. size. We also have different configurations, so we have an angle tool as well, not just a pistol style. But I can tell you that the price is aligned very competitively where other products like this or in this space typically are. So anyone who uses any type of manual click wrenches or pneumatic multipliers has an idea of what that price range is, depending on obviously the different sizes and whatnot. The price will vary, but it's aligned perfectly with that market.
So it's available now. Where can you go and get this product right now?
Very good question. So if you ever want any more information, you want a demo, or if you want to actually purchase, you can go to IngersollRandProducts.com and search for your local distributor or your local sales individual. Both our distribution and our sales team are well versed in this tool. They can bring out to show you a demo. They can actually run one on one of the joints, make you feel comfortable with the product since it's a newer technology. And you can ask them for more information. Again, it's IngersollRandProducts.com.
And are they helping you there, your distributors, if you wanted something like this, and actually how to really use it so you're comfortable with this product there?
Absolutely. And we understand that new technology like this, not as many people are familiar with, so we're a big advocate of demoing the tool, showing the tool on a specific joint, fitting the tool to what we believe their application would see fit. For example, if we needed a different reaction arm or this piece here, we can actually look at making a custom reaction arm to fit that application. So the idea is, again, we want to make everything easy for the customer. We're streamlining the process. We also want to make sure when they use the tool or first time they see the tool that they feel comfortable before they purchase.
So what I'm saying is if you want a tool not only to get the job done, but you want to get fit at the same time, this is the tool, right, Brian? We've just said we've got it. So there you go. Brian, thank you.
I appreciate it.
That's it. This is your tool, not only to get healthier and to get the job done for a Got It tool. So that's your Got It tool for today.